Mid-American Patriot. Get some.
Hey Patriots, my name is Tim O'Neill. I'm a Mid-American Patriot. There's a lot going on this morning. We don't have a lot of time, but I definitely want to touch base with you, let you know what's going on in the world today. Today on the list is Russia, and there is a lot happening with Russia. First of all, there's a lot of talk about World War III in the news from the Russian side. Here in the United States, alternative media is talking about it, but our mainstream media, not so much. So, who are the players? If World War III were to break out, who are the players? In my opinion, I see China. If you notice, we have a lot of new relationships starting with China. As a matter of fact, China's worried that the relationship between them and Russia is just temporary. That it's more of a tactical relationship than anything else, and that it's only temporary and it's built on the possibility of war. That's concerning. The other player that you sort of have to put into the mix is North Korea, not because of any of the current saber rattling, but as used as a tool, maybe as for an invasion, that type of thing. They would probably jump at that chance. In other words, I think that North Korea just needs a reason to get into a diversion, and they absolutely will. Then you have Cuba, which is right off of our coast, 60 miles off of our coast. It is a perfect staging area for a possible invasion. These are things that you have to think about. So, what do we have? We have China, which is a temporary yet tactical ally of Russia. You have North Korea, which needs a reason, and you have Cuba, who still has strained relationships. I don't know if you've seen this recently, but they are now allowing certain amount of product to come up from Cuba, from Americans. So if you want to buy cigars or Cuban rum or anything, you actually can now. You can actually import some of their products here, but it's very limited. And you know, it's interesting that we would start doing this now. Fact of the matter is that with these three allies and Russia, we're screwed. We're screwed. As a matter of fact, the Russians have said, if you elect Hillary Clinton, count on World War III. They, as a matter of fact, have told their media and their people that a war with us is imminent. That's insane. That's an insane thought. And if that isn't an insane thought, the idea that all of this stems from email hacking, that we have this tension between us and Russia from the Clinton camp over email hacking. And do you notice how Clinton is really taunting Russia, how she is basically claiming that Russia in the debate was a country committing war crimes in Syria. And it's interesting because Russia has stated that the envoy that was bombed due to terrorists, not by anything that the Russians have done. And you know, this comes from Clinton stating that she would love to see a no-fly zone over Syria. That she's going to shoot down Russian planes if they decide to fly over Syria. That's insane. And then she, of course, is calling Putin Hitler. That isn't going to help anything. You have her trying to act as the alpha female. We've talked about this before with her beta male, Tim Kaine. And they're going to taunt Russia. They're going to accuse Russia. They're going to put rules over Russia as far as how they can engage in a foreign matter of war. We are on our way to World War III, folks. So, I believe that Clinton is thinking that she's going to put us into another Cold War, because everybody remembers the 80s. Everybody remembers when Reagan was able to convince the Russians to tear down that wall and end the Cold War. And I mean, a lot of good things happened in America during the Cold War time. We all have good memory. I mean, don't get me wrong. During the early times, in the late 50s, early 60s, you know, kids were doing drills, you know, nuclear war drills, which they're going to be doing again here pretty soon. But they were doing war drills. But in the 80s, going into the 90s, things were good in this country. And when the Cold War ended, you know, things were good for the Clintons. And I think that she honestly thinks that by putting us into a Cold War, that she's going to be able to create the conditions that we had back in the 80s to have all the prosperity and good times that we had in this country. What the idiot doesn't realize is that with a person like Putin, she's most likely getting a real war. Okay? And that's where the drills and everything else, it doesn't matter because they drop a 10-ton or 10 megaton bomb on, I don't know, Philadelphia. There's going to be much left. Okay? This is not where we want to go. The Russians are actually calling Trump a, quote, peacemaker. Donald Trump, peacemaker. I don't think anyone wants a nuclear war. I just think that Hillary Clinton is stupid. That she thinks that she's going to get this. So, what does Putin say about Clinton? Well, first of all, they are saying that this is the lowest point for East-West relations in a very long time, that this is pre-Cold War, and it looks like it's heading towards a hotter war. And then on top of it, look who's testing missiles. This is why I brought North Korea back into this. Because Russia is testing missiles. North Korea is testing missiles. North Korea claims that they could actually hit California. So, where are we at, folks? We are at a dangerous place and time. So here's what you should do. You got your iodine pills? You should go get some. You got a place to get out of town if something should go wrong? You should probably plan a route to get there. If it's in a near populated area, I would consider maybe going to a less populated area. Fact of the matter is, folks, that if there is a nuclear war between us and Russia, it's endgame for the planet. You think global warming's a bitch? Try thermonuclear global warming. That's where we're headed. That's where Clinton is taking us. This is where we are going, towards certain death. This isn't coming from the hyperbole of the far-right media here in the United States. This is coming from your alternative media. This is coming from foreign media. This is coming from places like England and the Daily Mail and the Moscow Times and RT. People who have nothing to gain by our election except for the possibility of a real war because of this woman. Just because she feels that she is an alpha does not make her an alpha. Just because she feels that she's so smart and so clever, it does not mean that she's an alpha. It does not mean that she knows what in the hell she's doing. It does not mean that she knows the temperament of men. She does not know the temperament of men. And that's what she's going into. A war with a man who they call the fucking bear. Think about that for a minute with your alpha female and your beta male, Tim Kaine. This is real, folks. This is real. And if you aren't going to sit up and listen, you could very well be dead. Your family could very well be dead. Your children, your grandchildren, your sisters, they could all be dead. Yeah, your sisters. Women, if you aren't going to vote for Trump, if you are going to vote for your alpha female, Hillary Clinton, it could mean the end of you because Vladimir Putin isn't going to put up with her bullshit.
Mid-American Patriot. Get some. Exclusively on BlackPigeonspeaks.com.